this is what should happen to those crazy rioters who block freeways, stop the populace from moving from place to place. They should be charged with unlawful imprisonment, because that's what you're doing. You're prohibiting another human being from being able to move about freely. That should be a charge of unlawful imprisonment. Well, of all places, San Francisco agrees, and they are now throwing the book at pro-Palestine demonstrators. This segment is brought to you by Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Sick of fad diets that work for a couple months and then you gain all the weight back? Well, I'm down 37 pounds on the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic program, and I've kept that weight off for more than a year. Schedule your free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. San Francisco, like, they went woke and broke and they were a joke, and now they're just like turning things around. I mean, slowly. But honestly, I mean, they've seen how bad things got and now they're trying to go in a different direction. I will give them credit for that. So this from the San Francisco Standard, and it's about the pro-Palestine demonstrators who a few months ago blocked the Golden Gate Bridge. And so people, the traveling public, was stuck on a bridge, which I've got to say is kind of freaky. Of all the places I wouldn't want to be stuck, a bridge like the Golden Gate Bridge would be one of them. That's like,
I mean, it's a pretty view.
That's the stuff of nightmares right there. So the headline from the San Francisco Standard: DA throws book at Gaza protesters over Golden Gate Bridge shutdown, charges 26 with false imprisonment. It says the San Francisco District Attorney's Office announced the charges against the protesters early Saturday, saying the April 15th demonstration went beyond an exercise of free speech and endangered members of the public. 8 of the protesters stand accused of a count each of felony conspiracy, trespassing, obstructing a thoroughfare, refusal to disperse a riot, and failure to obey a lawful police order, and 38 counts of false imprisonment. 18 others are charged with misdemeanor versions of the same charges. It goes on to say, and some of these stories are crazy, but we talk about this, when they blocked I-5 in Seattle, we would just kind of pontificate about, think about if somebody's having an emergency on the freeway or something like that. Well, it actually happened down in San Francisco. It says the affidavit describes how the California Highway Patrol spoke to more than 200 people who were negatively affected by the demonstration. The Highway Patrol identified 35 who said they missed work, important medical appointments, or flights. One affidavit cites one woman who missed a pre-op appointment for brain surgery to remove a tumor in her temporal lobe. Another woman told investigators she ran out of water for infant formula and missed a pre-surgery doctor visit for her baby. One woman cited in the affidavit said her disabled child was stuck on a school bus for hours on the bridge. A surgeon told authorities she had to reschedule a procedure plan for that day, and at least 2 people said they had to relieve themselves in their cars because they were trapped. DA Brooke Jenkins said in a prepared statement, while we must protect avenues for free speech, the exercise of free speech cannot compromise public safety. The demonstration on the Golden Gate Bridge caused a level of safety risk, including extreme threats to the health and welfare of those trapped, that we as a society cannot ignore or allow. I mean, for the love of God, I'm shocked that it had to be San Francisco first. This is exactly what should be happening in Washington State. We had the I-5, the protest on I-5 that I think it was blocked for like 5 or 6 hours right before the exit to a trauma care center in Harborview Medical Center. There were ambulances that were rendered out of service in the backup. We had them block the only road into SeaTac Airport, where people had to get out with their bags and luggage and pilots, and they had to walk the rest of the way to the airport. That's domestic terrorism, but since there isn't technically a domestic terrorism charge federally, it should be unlawful imprisonment. That's what it is, right? You're obstructing the ability of another human being to move about freely. And until you start to throw the book at these demonstrators, nothing is going to change, because they live to be arrested. They love the failure to disperse. Some of them got long rap sheets of failure to disperse. They've been through Occupy. They've done the May Days. They've done the Black Lives Matter protests. They did the Chaz and the Chop, and they get arrested for all these misdemeanor crimes that they may or may not actually be prosecuted for. What is the one I like the most? Oh gosh, it's like the charge they throw at people when they like block a sidewalk. It's some dumb charge, but then it never gets actually prosecuted. I'm struggling to remember what the charge is. But then the city attorney's office, the old one at least, wouldn't do anything about it. So they don't care. And they love the pictures of them in handcuffs and then they're out like within minutes. But when you're talking about a felony charge of unlawful imprisonment or felony conspiracy charges, you're talking about, hopefully, hard prison time. And I promise you that these protesters aren't that hard. I promise you that 99% of these protesters do not want to actually face hard prison time, felony charges. And they're the same people. They're the same people at everything. Like I said, the same people who were at Occupy are the same people who were at May Day causing trouble, are the same people who were at Chaz and Chop causing trouble, are the same people who are pro-Palestine protesters. So if you threaten them with felony charges of unlawful imprisonment for doing this, 99% of them are going to stop doing it. So do what San Francisco did. Man, pigs must be flying, because now Seattle has to take a page out of San Francisco's playbook. But nothing is going to change until you do that. So San Francisco, unfreaking believable.